checking gas lines for leaks. Safety first. Just another one of the valuable services we offer as weatherization auditors and building scientists. But I tell you what, this house here is going to be a fun one to work in, because a little bit of stuff in here. You see the little path I had before. I'm going to get in and out. Yeah, so can you say a budding hoarder? But yeah, this is what we do. We check all the fittings. Anybody looking for opportunities to save money on the heating, you can always insulate your rim joist area. That stops a lot of cold transfer from outside to in. Ductwork, make sure it's all connected and sealed, and everything looks nice on it. And there'll be other things. So here we're getting a little tick. See my lights. Now, it's because my meter says it's a leak. How bad of a leak is it? I'll show you in a minute. I'm going to hit it with some bubble stuff, and then we'll work from there. So, we had a little tick on the meter there. Now what we're going to do is apply some blue goo and see what we get. So we soap it up nicely, and then we watch for bubbles. Not seeing anything huge. So we'll come back and check on it and see if they get any worse. We'll be back. That one's a little louder. Yeah, you can see it's spiking me. So we'll hit this with some bubbles and come back and see what it does. because it says danger, gas leak. I would have to agree with him. And it's bad enough. And it's collecting underneath the floor. So that's a pretty serious leak. I'll hit it with the blue goo. And I believe I got another one over here. And that one they didn't even find on their journeys. So I'm not surprised because of the wonderful mess we got. Yeah. Alright. We'll be back at that with some bubble stuff. Here's a little view of the rest of the place. So now we have to get up and around all the edges. And that is gonna be fun. Keeping my voice down so the lady don't know I'm filming her treasure trove. You may find something. But yeah, we got a thing. How do you like that, people? So there. Pop them open once. There's definitely a nice active gas leak there. Just like the sign says. So we're gonna mark that with our own special kind of danger tape and get our guy out there to fix that stuff. Here's a tip for some homeowners. If you look at your hot water tank and it looks like that, or like that, then chances are you're backdrafting. And that consists of the hot flue gases and a ton of moisture. And I'll bet you it'll fog up my camera lens. Let's see. Let's see if it'll melt my phone. No, well, just blinding myself and you saw my ugly face. But this thing definitely has problems. As noted by the people that were here before me. Constant, continuous spillage, recommend the liner. So do I. Can't argue with that. We are currently at 15 parts per million, CO. We'll just see if that is spilling out into the breathing space. And this definitely fails the 1 minute spillage point. Yeah, that's leaking everywhere. And we've got everything that moves air out of the house running. Our negative pressure with reference to outside is 1.7 without the furnace running. Well, so far we're still well within the B.P.I. recognized standards of safety. And then we're going to go start up the furnace and see what that does. So we'll be back. Yeah. So now with everything running, our negative pressure difference relative to outside is negative 3.5. Current conditions in this house, commonly vented chimney and a furnace and hot water tank. We're pretty close to being no good on. If this thing pops up a little higher, that's going to fail. So, we'll have to see what can be done to correct this. Chimney liner, get rid of that old beastly furnace, and change this place around. Okay. A little part of the job is assessing the safety and efficiency of the heating and of the hot water tank. Hot water, we only care to make sure it's safe. Now, somebody's been here before me this year, and I don't know what program, but spillage off chimney near liner. There's no liner. Ta-da! Okay, so chances are venting is undersized. We can see here, because they're not using proper B vent, the exhaust is condensing in the flue, running back out, causing this corrosion and fun stuff like that. This should be double walled B vent liner. This chimney should have a liner. I've got a feeling, no, it does have one, maybe. That's a mess. But we're going to bust her open and see what the insides looks like and start running some tests. We're going to be using our handy back rack, FireRite PCA2. Badass, huh? Look at the information I get together. Tells me how this thing's running, tells me if it's safe. I'm no expert, but this thing is. And this is just some of the fun I get to have on my job. It's a carbon monoxide detector. Right now there's nothing killing me, but we'll see once I got everything running. And while I got you here, this is my little EDC light. It's the Olight S10. I don't know if any of you guys out there watch cutlery lover stuff. I know Spook does. He's in love with these things for the same reason I got it, for work. Not only is it a bright little bastard, but they put the little magnet on there, and all of a sudden you can read the manufacturer's specs on the furnace. So I'll tell you, it's a bad little flashlight. I had problems with it when I got it, and actually had to send it back to China because the switch was dying on me, and they just sent me a whole new one, and so far this thing's been running great. So it's just part of why people say, oh, you can carry that stuff while you got a flashlight. That's why. Actually, so now we've popped it open, and you can see that this has been an ongoing problem with the corrosion coming back in. It's not good. It's just kind of an odd firebox on this thing, but definitely not what you want to see. This is the older style. It is a fan assisted, but if you look, there's also a little draft box here to hope to get some air to help push that up the chimney. So we'll test the efficiency on this thing and see whether or not it's worth keeping. And there's them people again. Pass fail. I don't know who they are, but all they did was make note of stuff. Doesn't look like they did anything to fix anything. They're the same ones that put the gas leak signs up. Alright, I'll be back to you. So now we got our furnace running. We're going to fire up our old faithful combustion analyzer. And we're going to see that the equipment they use had a smaller probe than mine. So I got to expand that hole so I can get in there. So alright, so now we're up in the attic. We're checking out the insulation. So what we got is 4 inches of old on top of 2 inches, or 2 inches of old, and 4 inches of newish on top of it. Over here is our kitchen fan. I turned it on to make sure it's coming out that ductwork, which it is, but it's not going out of the house, so that needs to be corrected. And it's hotter than hell up here. Yeah, let's go take a look at that. The damper's not opening. So that needs to be corrected. Sorry, talking with a flashlight in my mouth. In case any of you out there have never been up in an attic before, you want to keep your knees and feet on these little 2x4s. Otherwise, you're going to end up in the living room. And it was probably pretty annoying moving the camera while I crawled to this side, so I'm going to turn it off and crawl over to the other side and see if we can find the bath fan. Yeah, so we found the other bath fan. It does have a hose on it, but it's only going to the gable vent here, so that's not really great evacuation of the hot, moist air that you don't want in your house or your attic. And while we were finding that, we found a little secret spot. It's not going to show up good, but out there, it's like a 16x8 bump out on the house. Still rocking the old insulation because they couldn't get in there to upgrade it. So our contractors are going to cut a big enough hole to get in there, air seal up anything, and insulate the piss out of it. Just one of the fun things we do. There's your chimney. Yeah. Alright, that's how's the bitch up here, so I'm done playing and I'm out. See ya.